Hey, Bill O'Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News, Tuesday, May 16th, 2023. Stand up for your country. Unfortunately, we live in a corrupt country. It's still worth standing up for because at the heart of it is a noble nation, but corruption has taken over. Now, this doesn't mean it'll always be that way. It could change back, but we need better leadership, that's for sure. The federal government and the media are driving the corruption. If you watch us regularly here on the No Spin News and listen to us on our radio stations all across the country, you know that I methodically have pointed that out, that there is corruption here, and it is depressing to me, but I'm going to fight against it, and that is the subject of this evening's Talking Points Memo. So the Durham Report is finally out. Finally out. 4 years in the making. April 2019, John Durham, assigned to investigate the origins of the Federal Bureau of Investigation probe into Russian interference in the 2016 U.S. election between Trump and Hillary Clinton. All that time, 4 years plus a month, before Durham could write a 300-page report. Okay, I'm a pithy guy, I'm a simple man. We'll get right to the heart of the report so you don't have to read 300 pages. Here is the key passage. Quote, the DOJ and FBI should recognize that lack of analytical rigor, apparent confirmation bias, and an over-willingness to rely on information from individuals connected to political opponents cause investigators to fail to adequately consider alternative hypotheses and to act without appropriate objectivity or restraint in pursuing allegations of collusion or conspiracy between a U.S. political campaign and a foreign power. Unquote. That, of course, is the Trump campaign and Russia. So basically that boils down to, in pinheady bureaucratic language, the FBI did not conduct the investigation in a fair manner. Why? Because it wanted Hillary Clinton to beat Donald Trump. Now, the Mueller Report issued in March of 2019, boy, 4 years ago already, man. Here's what Attorney General William Barr said. Quote, the special counsel found that Russia did interfere with the election, but did not find that the Trump campaign or anyone associated with it conspired or coordinated with the Russian government in these efforts, despite multiple efforts from Russian-affiliated individuals to assist the Trump campaign. So the Trump campaign actually fended the Russians off, and Mueller found no collusion. So let's put this to bed. There was no collusion. The Trump campaign did nothing wrong. Okay? And that's a fact. Now, how much did this cost us? It cost us about $12 million at least. $6.5 million for Durham and about $5 million for Mueller. So all the Mueller people and the Durham people live pretty large on us. But that's okay, because we finally have a stake through the heart of the propagandists who convicted Trump and his campaign of heinous activities with Russia. Remember how they convicted them? Roll it.
This week, we saw cold, hard evidence of the Trump campaign, indeed the Trump family, eagerly intending to collude possibly with Russia, a hostile foreign power, to influence American elections.
The Russians offered help. The campaign accepted help. The Russians gave help, and the president made full use of that help. And that is pretty damning.
The Russians were successful. I don't think there's any way to read that report and not conclude they accomplished what they set out to do. They had an objective to sow discord and divisiveness within our society at large and to help Donald Trump, and they succeeded.
Okay, so all three of those people have not issued any apologies at all. Okay, nothing, no perspective, and they get away with it. because the media allows them to get away with it. What about Trump lies, okay? How many times have you heard that? 1 million times? Trump lies. Okay, you want to think Trump lies, then think that. Well, what about Pelosi lies? Schiff lies. Hillary Clinton lies. Joe Biden says the border's secure. Is that a lie? That's not true. So you see, the fix is in, and this is what I'm talking about corruption. So not only did the most powerful investigative agency in the world, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, okay, try to influence a presidential election, not only did they do that, but media people allowed Pelosi, Schiff, Hillary Clinton, and thousands of others to convict the Trump people. And now it's like, Now, behind the curtain, the Wizard of Oz, the Wizard of Corruption, in my opinion, humble opinion, is a man named Andrew Weissmann. Remember him? He served as lead prosecutor for Mueller, the special counsel's office. He was the chief investigator. But he did not like the Mueller report at all. No. When it was issued, he wrote a book. And in the book, he says that the special counsel, Robert Mueller, made mistakes and could have done more because Weissmann wanted the report to indicate that Trump colluded with Russia. So put Weissmann's picture back up, and then those of you on the radio listening to me, he's got glasses. He looks like a Washington cat, as Miller would say. And now Weissmann is trying to tear the Durham report apart. Roll the tape on that.
You want to talk about a witch hunt or sort of real wasted resources. You know, there are a lot of things to investigate. There are a lot of things that can be useful in government. If John Durham was really just doing an investigation to talk about what are better policies and practices that the FBI could have and was depoliticizing it, I would have been all for that and said, great, you know what? There's no agency that can't use greater scrutiny. But this was trying to say that there's a big there when, you know, there's no there.
He's a moron. This guy at the highest level of the Justice Department is a blanket moron. No there. Yeah, there is. The FBI inserted itself in a presidential election trying to tilt it to Hillary Clinton. Whew. Okay. So is Weissmann going to be held accountable? No. Who are the other big shots that caused this? James Comey, former director of the FBI. Assistant Director Andrew McCabe, who's on CNN now. And Peter Strzok, the notorious Peter Strzok, who headed the fraudulent investigation. Any of them going to get prosecuted? Or Durham doesn't even mention them. Doesn't even mention their names. They're not getting prosecuted. Not under Merrick Garland. So I wrote a message of the day that explains why this corruption continues. So if you got a director of the FBI, an assistant director, and a lead investigator, and the Mueller report says nothing happened, and the Durham report says the FBI knew nothing happened but investigated anyway, somebody should be prosecuted. Right? Right? But no, because the government's corrupt. Justice Department's corrupt. It's just so deflating for a person like me, and I bet you too, who loves our country. It's just so deflating. Anyway, the message of the day, I hope you read it. Post it on BillO'Reilly.com. You don't have to be a premium concierge member. You go in there and read it. And that's a memo. Okay, let's get to the president's schedule. He's got debt talks. And I'm not going to speculate on this. If you want speculation, go to the network and cable news. I'm going to let it play out. I believe they'll come to a deal, but they're chatting about it. And then it's Jewish American Heritage Month. I didn't even know that. So Biden's going to do something about that tonight or late this afternoon. Financial disclosures on the president and vice president, pretty interesting. So according to the Office of Government Ethics, is that redundant? I don't know. No, it's not redundant. I'm using the wrong word there. The Office of Government Ethics. Eee. Anyway, here's what Joe Biden and Jill Biden are worth. Between $1 million and $2,500,000. I don't believe that for a second. I don't think that counts the money Hunter Biden. That's snide. I'm sorry. That's snarky. And Kamala and her husband, they're worth between $3.5 and $8.5 million. You can't narrow it down more than that. I mean, these are public servants. The real estate alone, the Bidens have, are worth way more than $2.5 million. So this is the government ethics. They're putting it out. I don't believe a word of it. Neither should you. The chairman of the Fed is promising more pain ahead. Last year, stocks dropped a whopping 20%. 2023 could be worse. You are right to be worried. So call the only precious metal dealer I trust, American Hartford Gold. They will show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. Since I've been a client and spokesperson, the price of gold has appreciated more than 35%. So please call today and they'll have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your IRA or 401k. They have thousands of satisfied customers and have the highest rating in the country with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Please tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they will give you up to $5,000 of free silver on your first order. Please call 866-501-5201. That's 866-501-5201, or text Bill to 65532. Again, that's 866-501-5201, or text Bill to 65532. Let's go to the mail. On a message board, Daniel writes, Obama's third administration is now underway through frontman Joe Biden. None of this Biden stuff is incompetence. His goal is to tear down the USA as a majority of Americans know it and replace it with American Marxism. Pretty strong, Daniel. Now, you are entitled to hold that opinion that Biden is a Marxist, but you'd never be able to prove it, just so you know. But you're entitled to it. Paul, President Obama's job was to fundamentally transform the country in his 2 terms. Now that he is in his 3rd term, as Biden's puppeteer, he's even more aggressive in pulling the levers behind the destructive policies. So, Paul, I wish you could prove it, but you know you can't. But if you could, and you could send it to me, the documentation that Barack Obama is the puppeteer, that I could see evidence, a whistleblower or a document, anything. Again, you're entitled to your belief, but hard evidence not there. MG, Bill, I disagree with you. Biden's not guilty of cowardice. He's guilty of treason. This is not incompetence, lack of caring, or cowardice. This is a deliberate act put upon him by the hard left to flood the nation with foreign nationals who will eventually vote Democratic. I'm not going to disagree with that. I think that is why the progressive left favors this. Tom Campbell, Amarillo, Texas. Obviously, we know what today's problem is, the border. Looking a decade ahead, if we're able to elect a president and a legislator, we'll stop the uncontrolled flow of illegal immigration. What will we do about all those who have entered illegally? What an excellent question, Tom. U.S. government's not going to do anything about them. They're here. They're staying. They will not be expelled unless they commit a crime. There will be a new immigration law. And under that law, people who are here are going to be given amnesty. That's the only way the Democrats will sign on to it. So there's not going to be mass deportations if Trump is reelected and Congress goes Republican. That won't happen. Cecile Carr, Portage, Indiana. Is the vice president's calendar published as is the president's? I don't know. That's a good question, Cecile. I'm going to have my producer look in to see if Kamala Harris publishes a schedule every day. I'd be very interested to see what she's doing every day. Thank you. We will look into that. Tanya, Concierge member. Bill, I just came back from Istanbul and Athens over the weekend. Wow, it's a nice weekend trip. I'm sure you were there longer. I asked you a question through the Concierge membership a few months ago, and you were kind enough to advise me on the trip. Both cities are crowded, and I absolutely agree. Greek islands are much more picturesque than Turkish. I was following your broadcast and OSPN News on my trip. Thanks for keeping me informed. Well, Tanya, I'm really happy I had a good time, and we went over that last night, that a lot of Concierge members can ask me any questions about where they're traveling, and I will save you a pile of dough because I've probably been there, okay? Been to every state in the Union, every major city, and 85 countries around the world. So I'm glad you had a good time. Concierge membership pays off, makes your life better. John Broderick, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, beautiful place. I just finished killing the mob. I'm very happy that those things can never happen again. I don't know about that. The Mexican cartels are worse than the mafia ever, and they're operating with impunity inside the United States because of the Biden administration. Killing mob, though, we did get them. But now there's a new crew of criminals. All right, Father's Day. Come on, Dad, June 11th, right? Dad, Granddad. And I told you this yesterday, but I put together this package. We cannot do better than this. So throw it on up on the screen and on the radio. If you buy a premium membership to BillO'Reilly.com, that means Dad gets access to us for a year. You get red Team Normal baseball hat, which is unbelievably sharp, coffee mug made in the USA, and a bumper sticker, Team Normal, all for $89.95. Come on. I mean, come on. A tie costs more than $100. So this is a great deal. Come back to me. So here is the Team Normal mug. I use this every day. And so do the urchins, okay? So made in America, I mean, the best mug ever, except for the Stand Up for Your Country mug. I mean, they're all made by the same people. And then, if your father or grandfather likes to read, we got Killing the Legends and Killing the Mob, aforementioned, together for $18. Not each, for both. Okay? And then we have Killing Crazy Horse in the United States of Trump, together. All right, there's Crazy Horse and Trump, $18, 2 books. And so if Dad likes to read, there you go. Word of the day, no temerity, Temerity. Temerity. We don't want that when you write to me. Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com. Name and town. Lots of you are forgetting the name and town. I can't use it unless I know you're a real person. We can't have these flood zone AI coming in here. All right, final thought about family discord in a moment. Right back. Bill O'Reilly here. Like most Americans, I'm trying to cut down on calories and sugar. That means no soda, iced tea, or fruit juice. Thankfully, I recently discovered this drink called Organic Trio. I swapped out high sugar drinks for Trio, and I feel much, much better. Each beverage is only 15 calories with 1 gram of sugar, and it tastes good. Trio is produced by the same family that developed Snapple. So it's no surprise they know how to make a great tasting drink. Trio's secret ingredient is water tapped directly from birch trees. It's plant-based, naturally sweet. Trio is caffeine-free, organic, kosher, vegan, and gluten-free. So please go check them out at drinktrio.com. Again, that's drinktrio.com. Now available nationwide at Walmart. Okay, here's the final thought of the day. So I don't know of one family, and I know thousands of people. You know, in my job, I get to meet people, all walks of life. Americans, British, French, you name it. I know thousands of people. There's always discord in family, always. It's not like Leave It to Beaver. Remember Leave It to Beaver? The Cleavers, okay? It's not like Father Knows Best. It's not like you know, as a sitcom world progressed, then they got a little tense, but there's always discord. So how do you handle that? So I'm the patriarch of my family, okay? I'm in charge. And I encourage dissent. I want people to tell me if they disagree with me, because I think that's very healthy. And it advances intellectual prowess, because then I can explain what my point of view is. I can listen to the dissenting point of view, and I'm tough. I mean, if I see an argument that's weak or not based on reality, I'll say it, but I won't say it in a harsh way or an accusatory way. I'll say, would you consider this? Or I'll cite something that happened. So we're having a debate, and my family is traditional primarily, but there are liberals under the O'Reilly banner, and there aren't any arch conservatives, but there are people that are more conservative than I am. But I like that, and I find that even if a family member gets emotional and upset, and they do, and you know it, if you disagree with them, even if that happens, you don't apologize. You just say, hey, that's what America's all about, an exchange of ideas. You don't have to agree with me, okay? There's no cover charge if you disagree with me. I just want you to consider my point of view as I consider yours. That's all. Be the rational voice. Be the rational voice. Most of the time that will work, not all the time. Some people are so crazed now, and I call them loons. And they come in two varieties, far left loons and far right loons. And they don't want to hear it. They want to live in a bubble wrap. They don't want to hear it. Nothing you can do. And so I don't even bother. If they say something crazy, I just go, really? I didn't know that, you know, or make something like that. Some people you're not going to get through to. Doesn't mean you got to be mean to them, though. Just kind of even it out. But most people you can. And always encourage robust debate and discussion. It is healthy. It develops the mind. It makes the argument stronger. And if you have a weak argument, or if you're saying something fallacious, be persuadable. Don't be rigid. So that's the final thought of the day. I hope it helps you out. The family is the most important thing. If you can, keep it together. Thank you for watching and listening to the No Spin News. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.